Aloha Eagles! Let's get back to some basics. With so many Excel shortcuts out there, oftentimes we forget the most basic. Now, let's go ahead and start out with a real basic one, the spell check. That's right, spell check. Oftentimes we don't do a spell check in Excel. And I think that's probably because there's no little red line letting us know that there's a misspelled word. And there's nothing worse than grueling over a report that is going to rock management, and when they look at it, they notice that even though the report is awesome, you misspelled January. What are they going to remember, the report or the misspelled word? So we press F7 to launch the spell check. Here we see that it has identified that the first word misspelled is in cell A1, and they're suggesting that we change it to cheek. Well, cheek is not what we're looking for. We want check. So shortcuts, tips, and tricks. We're going to press the down arrow on our keyboard to move on to selecting the word check. We see that the change button is highlighted, so to approve that selection, just press enter. There we have it. Now we see the next suggestion, italicize, and in this case, that is the correct suggestion, so I'm going to select it without using my mouse. There's an underline under the letter C, so I'm going to use my Alt keys. So I'm going to press Alt C to accept that change. There's a next suggestion, and I see to accept the change, once again, the letter C is underlined, so I'll press Alt and select the letter C to accept that change. Microsoft Excel tells me that the spell check is complete. You're good to go. So I press Enter to select the OK. Now we want to go ahead and move on to using our keyboard shortcuts for doing some formatting. Let's start out with the bold. With the marquee on A2, I'm going to press Control B to bold. For the underline, I'm going to press Control U. For italicize, Control I. And then the strike through, I discovered that purely by accident, and I just press Control 5 to do the strike through. What about if I want to undo some of the actions I just took? Well, one way to undo is you can undo it with shortcuts. Just use the same shortcuts all over again. Control 5 to undo the strike through, Control I to undo the italicize, Control U to undo the underline, and then Control B to undo the bold. There's other ways to undo. Check out your quick access toolbar. When we look up at the quick access toolbar, you're going to notice that we have our undo. Next to the undo, there's a little drop down. When you click on that drop down, you can undo up to 100 actions at a time. Here we only have 21 actions to undo. Well, I'm just going to do the last 4 actions. So I just hover over the last 4 actions and then I just select it, and that has undone the last 4 actions. I want to redo these 4 actions. Press the drop down on the redo. Select the 4 actions I want to redo. Select them, and there you have it. I just redid them. Excel also will show you a lot of times what are the shortcuts for a lot of the tools. These are called screen tips. Hover over the bold and it tells you that the shortcut is Control B. Move on over and hover over the underline tool, and you're going to notice that the shortcut is Control U. What about the italicize? Hover over it and you see that it's Control I. Now let's move on to some universal shortcuts. Those are shortcuts that work across many different applications, not just Excel. To move to the next worksheet, I'm just going to press Control Page Down. To move back up, it's Control Page Up. Those are your worksheet navigation shortcuts. Control Page Up, Control Page Down. Now, go on to the next lesson where we're going to go over some universal shortcuts. Don't get mad, get skills. Aloha.